Alright, so first thing I've come across is this row of old school buses. Most school buses here are based on international chassis and Ford chassis, so not actually sure what these buses were based on. They're engineless, but they've been here quite a while, and yeah, they actually use them for storage, I believe. There's a few more up yonder, but there are some interesting finds, like hiding through there. If we walk around this way, past this old Ford GMC Cube van by the looks of it, we got some other modern stuff, Dodge Caliber, some old Chryslers over there, another school bus, but that is a Ford Windstar minivan that has been, say, pick up a truckified. The whole back end is missing. We've got a cool old Toyota Tercel wagon over there. Don't know if it's the all-wheel drive version. Maybe they were all all-wheel drive, I can't remember. But we'll take a little walk down the road, see what we can find. Nissan Sentra there. Maybe took a little hit in a ditch or something. Front looks a bit beat up. Part sitting everywhere. Mazda Protege 5. Always liked those things. Kind of a shame that it's here, but they rusted a lot, so not surprising. Honda Civic. Slightly older Honda Civic. Yep. What's this guy? Another Toyota Corolla. Actually, that's a Camry. Light blue. Can't even tell what that car is, actually. Like the color, though. Volkswagen Golf. Jetta. Another Toyota Camry by the looks of it. Ah, here we go. Here's the fronts of some of the old buses. Those are old ones, 70s or early 80s probably. Old GMC and Chevy ones. Probably engineless as well. That one has a tree growing up in the middle of it. So that's been there a while. I don't know what that is. Honda Accord with a mismatched hood. Don't know what that is. Some of these have grown up a bit. Ooh, this one's had a bit of a front shunt. Oh, what's this thing? I like the color. Oh, this I think is a Mazda MX-3, maybe? No, actually it might be a Civic. I really can't tell. I think it's a Civic or a Mazda MX-3. Really hard to see. What do we got here? Older Mazda Protege, Nissan Sentra. What's this guy? Another Nissan Sentra. I think we're running to the end of this row. Ooh, this one's been here a while. Volkswagen of some sort. Golf, maybe. This one's been here a while, too. Ooh, Civic. Ooh, old Mazda truck, maybe? Another Sentra there. Can't tell what that red thing is. Little SUV of some sort. Pardon my crappy camera work. Don't know what that guy is hiding in there. Volkswagen Golf. I will say that there are some rows that are far less overgrown than this. Oh, pop-up headlight Honda Accord. That's kind of a shame to see. That's a coupe. Coupe? Yep, coupe model. It's got some very cool, hard to see down there. Can I zoom in? Very cool 80s style stripe package on that one. That's kind of a shame. What else do we have here? Old Golf or Jetta? Actually, I can't tell. I might be able to tell from the other side. Another pop-up headlight car. What is this thing? Oh, this is a shame. I think that is an 80s Nissan NX. Is that what those were called? Yes, it is. Really can't see very well, but you can tell by the shape of the taillight. It's kind of got that weird, where is it? That weird stripy look going on. Golf. Another, ooh, that's an old Jetta. What do we have here? I can't tell what this guy is. When's the last inspection from? Early 2000s, or early 2010s, like 2011, I think. Oh, it's a Kia, maybe a Cephia? Possibly an older Rio? Hard to tell when there's no headlights and stuff on it. Mazda 626. There, that one's been there a while too. We're down to the end of this row. Ooh, that's a very shiny chrome rim just sitting there. What's this guy? Oh, that's a shame. That, my friends, if you cannot tell, is a Toyota Celica. You can tell with the pop-up headlight there. That's a shame. That took a pretty hard hit to the A-pillar there, by the looks of it. No wonder that was totaled. Ooh, oddities! This is a Dodge Raider. Someone on opposite lock has one of those. It's very hard to see in the bushes there, but Raiders were basically Dodge rebranded Mitsubishis, like Pajeros or something. Might be able to see a better shot of the back. There's a few other cars over that way we might go glance at. Can I get a better shot of the back? No, not through this pine tree, but there it is. Imported for Dodge. That actually doesn't look that rusty, to be honest, just looking at the bodywork. We'll go down this row in a minute. Is there another row? There is. Let's go down this row and we'll come back. What do we have here? Oh! This is a huge rarity. This is a Mitsubishi Delica Super Exceed. This is a shame. This would have been a JDM import, but this is this poor thing has been abandoned here, and surprisingly even parts have been taken off of it. It has the roof window package, left-hand drive as you can see, but steering wheel's missing. So even though it's an import, I think people have stripped what parts they could get off of that thing. That is a cool oddity to find. What do we have over here? This looks like a Mitsubishi Eclipse or a Stealth. When was this thing last on the road? 2013. That's an Eclipse, I believe. That's a shame. They're kind of cool cars. We have hiding in here. I cannot tell what that is. Ford Escort ZX2. So that was like a sporty coupe version of the North American Ford Escort at the time. Have a Kia Magentis over here. We have a Nissan. I don't even know what kind of Nissan that is. I don't remember the name of it. They're not very common. That is a, what's this fella? Hyundai Elantra, I believe. Judging from the headlights there, because they have slightly unique headlights. Oh, that teal colored car I wasn't recognizing is a Hyundai S Coupe. I don't know if this is the turbo one or not, but that's kind of a cool find. We have a early Hyundai Accent, the grandfather to my car. And what's this? We can actually get in here and take a look. Another Hyundai. I'm guessing this is another Elantra. This looks a lot like a car my friend used to own, but I highly doubt that it's actually his. And then this is... Yes, this is in fact an Elantra as well. 5-speed, this one. Kind of hard to tell, but that's a stick shift in there. That's another Elantra in burgundy. Again, sorry for the terrible photography here. Hiding in there, we have what looks to be another early Accent. This is an early Elantra. This is another early Accent. Another early Accent. That's the generation before mine. Mine's an MC. I forget the generation name for these, but that would have been the one that came before it. We've got a Ford Escort, North American spec. This one might be a wagon. Let's take a look. Nope, sedan. Fun fact, that is the car that my current alloy rims on my Accent came from. This is a Escort wagon, if you can see back there. That color is amazing. This was actually a factory color, that bright, bright purple. We have a Kia Rio over here. Ford Tempo. Have not seen one of these in a long time. My grandparents used to have one of these growing up. Theirs was blue with sort of the this two-tone bottom body. Of theirs was like a silver. Hyundai Elantra. Ooh, what's this thing? Can't even tell. I think that's another Accent. Yes, it is another Accent. Another Ford Escort. That's another sedan. Gotta keep an eye on my footing. Oh, a Hyundai Tiburon. I think you got these as the Hyundai Coupe in the UK, if those of you watching are from the UK. I always kind of like those, so it's a shame to see one here. That is a Hyundai Sonata, an early one. Ooh, Mercury Topaz. Mercury Topaz, missing its badge though. Topaz is where the badge-engineered Mercury version of the Ford Escort, or pardon me, of the Ford Tempo that we just saw over there. Another Ford Escort ZX2 Coupe. You can easily tell these because, if I can get it in shot, come on, they have these two lights where normal Escorts only had one single assembly. Hyundai Elantra, early one. Wagon hiding in there, very hard to see through the trees, I'm sorry. We have, what's this guy? Another Elantra, I believe. Another Sonata. Some sort of Toyota, that's a Tercel. Ooh, a newer Hyundai Elantra with a mismatched door. Ooh, for all the people who like American cars, this is an old 80s Oldsmobile Cutlass Sierra SL. Complete with awesome random country badging that I could never quite understand. We have another Kia Cephia, however you want to pronounce it. Another Oldsmobile Cutlass. This is a Pontiac Tempest, I believe, which was the badge-engineered version of the Chevrolet Corsica. Pontiac Sunfire here with a slightly earlier Pontiac Sunfire. You can see how the front headlight designs changed. A Chevrolet Cavalier with a racing stripe and a bunch of those stick-on Canadian Tire air deflector things. Sorry buddy, it's not actually going to go that fast. Toyota Echo, otherwise known as the Toyota Platts in other markets. Actually was thinking of getting one of these when I bought my first car, but I got my Subaru instead. This seems to be a Sunfire and Chevy Cavalier row, because there's a Sunfire, there's another Sunfire. This is a Chevy Cavalier right here. This is a slightly facelifted one, so it has slightly different front styling. Not sure what this is. What's this guy? Oh, Toyota Echo, another one. Can't tell what that is. Might be another Cavalier. That's another Toyota Echo sedan. Another Cavalier. That's a Chevrolet Cobalt, complete with the best Canadian Tire Wolf graphics money can buy. Another Toyota Echo sedan. What's this guy? This is a Chevrolet Lumina? Yeah, Lumina, because it's the four-door version. Monte Carlo's only had two doors. This is a Cavalier and a, what is this thing? I can't even tell what that one is. Kind of hard to see through the trees. Fire damaged melted engine hood laying on the ground there. Chevy Malibu. Can't tell what that is. Old school American factory alloy. Well, I guess they're Steelies with chrome trim maybe, but those would have been off of an Oldsmobile, I believe. Chevrolet Impala on the right. Later Chevy Cavalier on the left. Ooh, bright yellow Chevrolet Aveo. So we'll walk over things. Can't tell what that is. That's a Chrysler Sebring. Pontiac Sunfire. Chevy Cavalier. Chrysler Intrepid. Dodge Stratus. Intrepids and Stratuses, Sebrings are all on the same platform, for those of you who are not North American. Can't tell what that is, but I think it's a Cavalier. That's another Cavalier. Cannot tell what that is. Ooh, I always liked these. This is an earlier Chrysler 300. So these were kind of cool. This one has some sort of weird front cover thing going on, because the grille looks all fuzzy. Chrysler Concorde. These were big old 90s American barges. Chrysler LHS. Plymouth Breeze, which again was another badge engineered version of the same Dodge Stratus and stuff we saw behind us. Can't tell what that is. That's a Pontiac Sunbird, so this was a badge engineered version of the Chevrolet Cavalier at the time. That is another Chrysler Intrepid by the looks of it. Ooh, some interesting old stuff. That hiding in the woods there is an old Dodge or Chrysler, I can't tell, but like a K-car. It would have been on the K-car platform. That one has had a huge hit to the door. Don't know if you can see that. This is interesting. This is a Chevy Chevette. These are terrible, or were derided as such. I don't know if this is a factory color or if someone had actually resprayed it to paint it. That one's had a bit of a rear end hit by the look of it. Something interesting in the background there, but I can't tell what it is. There's another Chevette, or perhaps the Pontiac version. This is the Pontiac badge engineered version of the Chevette, hiding in the over there in the bushes. Let's go see what else we can find. Alright, different row. Giant pile of radiators, giant pile of gas tanks, giant pile of randomness and mostly rims. Pontiac Sunbird Coupe in an interesting bluish green color. We have a, don't know, but it's very, very rusty, Saturn Vue. So this was Saturn's first SUV. Kind of ugly, but apparently they weren't too bad. Saturn SL? I never remember their model numbers, but as you can see, plastic panels, so they would just shatter in accidents. That's why they're all shattered off of that door. This is a Pontiac Grand Prix or Grand Am. I can never always tell them apart. This is my favorite Saturn, or one of. It's the Saturn Coupe. So same thing, plastic panels. Friend of the family had one of these, and she quite liked it and misses it. Chevrolet Epica, which was a badge engineered version of the Suzuki Verona, I think it was called. Over here we have some interesting American quote-unquote muscle. This is a Pontiac Firebird. Not sure of the year, but 80s. This is a Chevrolet Cavalier RS. These were like RS? I forget the model designation, but this was like the sporty trim of the coupe version. You can tell it's sporty because red stripe. Oh, this is a slightly later one, maybe the same generation. No stripe, but you can see this is what the factory body kit would have looked like because they were the sporty version. Another Saturn Coupe. That one would have been the refresh, the later generation of that same purple one we saw over there. Dodge Dakota pickup. I think that's a Chevy Equinox or some sort of Buick. Pontiac 6000. This is a sedan. My parents actually had the wagon version of one of these when I was growing up until it hit some ice and ended up crashing. What other interesting stuff do we have? We'll go back up to that row in a minute, but I see something also interesting down here. This is a late 70s, early 80s Chevy Camaro, or what's left of it. Pretty rough shape, that one, but probably some usable parts. This is the back end of that Pontiac 6000 that I'd mentioned. Sedan version. They were also available in a wagon version, but no coupe version. Oldsmobile. I can't remember the model name, but it's some sort of Oldsmobile. 88 maybe? We got another... Ooh, I thought it was a Cavalier at first, but it's not. It's the Chevy Sprint, which is the rebadged version of the Geo Metro, as you can see. Ooh, Dustbuster van. Hard to see with the sun, but that's a Chevy Lumina or a Pontiac Transport. One of the Dustbuster vans, as they're called. Another K-car based Dodge of some sort. Another Pontiac in the woods there, can't tell what it is. We have a Chevy Venture. We have a Nissan Quest with an oddly specific hole cut into the back. Ford Windstar. Pontiac Transport. Chevrolet Venture. Ford Windstar. That's like the one that we saw earlier that was pickup truckified. This is another Pontiac. Oh, sorry, that car we saw a minute ago wasn't K-car based. It was another Pontiac like this one, probably a Le Mans or something. Or Le Mans. This is I think it's a Pontiac G6 they're called. Sort of a slightly larger car than the Sunfire. This is a Le Mans. I just noticed it has a vinyl roof, which is terribly peeling and such. Kind of continue on past all of these not so interesting minivans. This is a Chevy Monte Carlo. So that's the coupe version of the Lumina that we saw earlier. There is a, what is this? Kia Rio? No, that's the same G6. Sorry, getting myself confused. Subaru Outback. As you can see, with its fancy gold badging. Another minivan. Dodge Dakota. Ford Freestar. That's the later version of the Windstar. Another Dakota. And this Dakota is my favorite shade of blue, actually. This, I think, was called Brilliant Blue. You could also get these on the high trim Dodge Dakota RT, which is the one which came with like a 5-liter V8 or V6, I forget now. But yeah, one of my favorite shades of blue available in any car. Old Dodge Ram, Hyundai Santa Fe, another Santa Fe. Oh, old Ford F-150, 250, but just the cab. Chevy HHR. I have a friend who kind of likes these for some reason. But yeah, they were like Chevy's answer to the PT Cruiser after Chrysler decided to make the PT Cruiser. Chevy was like, hey, let's do the same thing, 'cause money. Little Ford Explorer SUV, an earlier one. Yep, Ford Explorer. You got a Ford F-150 cab, Dodge Ram van, an early Ford Windstar. That's the first generation, so that would have been the van that replaced the Ford Aerostar that looked like a box. Oh, old Chevy S10 or Blazer, I can't tell. Blazer, is that a Blazer? Yeah, so Chevy S10 pickup, but Blazer SUV, little 2-door SUVs. Ford Ranger cab. Well, old Chevy, I think, I'm not good with American stuff, but I think this is a Chevy C10, or the GMC equivalent cab. You got, what else? Another cab. This looks to be the truck section. Another cab, can't tell what it is. Old bright blue Chevy cargo van, Ford Econoline, which is like the North American Transit. We never got the Transit here until a few generations ago. Dodge Ram. Looks like an old Ford cab, don't know. Don't know. Ooh, what's this? Interesting color. Ah, this is a Ford F-150 cab, painted in yellow. This is an ex-Department of Highways vehicle, because that's the paint color they always paint things in here in Nova Scotia. Dodge Ram. Another Dodge Ram. Ranger cab, another Ford cab. More cabs. We'll skip past all the cabs, because they're a little uninteresting by themselves. Truck box, old Ford F-150, old Dodge Dakota, in the often two-tone paint scheme you could find them in. We have, ooh, that's an old one. So that's an old Chevy truck cab. I don't know the year, but like late 70s or something. I'm not sure. Not really good with my American stuff. I just know it's an old one. That's another old Chevy cab, but newer than the one we just saw. More cabs, more cabs. Now, what do we have here? GMC Safari type thing. That's that van. Chevy Impala, Ford Econoline, Chevy 3500 van, some Ford F-150s, another Accent, Nissan Versa, Ford Focus wagon, Pontiac. Wow, my brain is not working. Pontiac G3, I think? It's the Pontiac badge version of the Chevy Cobalt, but that's the coupe model. Accent. Some sort of Pontiac, I think, with some weird side graphics. Yeah, Pontiac Bonneville, I think. Toyota Echo. Oh, a little Toyota Vitz. This is what I really wanted when I was looking for my first car. It's the Vitz, which over here was sold as the Echo hatchback. But the Vitz is a little four-door or two-door hatch. Another pickup truckified van. That's interesting. I think they use these as parts haulers around the yard. Old Dodge Caravan. Mazda 5 there. Toyota Corolla. First generation Ford Explorer. Either a Suzuki Swift or a Chevy Aveo. It's not a bad blue. It's an MC generation Accent like mine. That's kind of a shame. I do not know what that is, but that's hideous. Is this a manual as well? No, automatic on this one. Seems to be all there though. This has the same sort of clear coat fade that my brother's Accent does for some reason. We have a Dodge Omni, which is the North American version of the Talbot, can never pronounce it right, Horizon. So that's what that platform was based on. We have a, what's this thing? A wagon of some sort? Volkswagen, Passat wagon maybe? Another Mazda Protege, Corolla, Pontiac Sunfire sedan. No idea what this guy is. Civic maybe? What's the engine cover say? Honda, so that's probably a Civic. Chevy Cobalt Coupe, which is the coupe version of the Pontiac G3 we saw 2 seconds ago. There's that poor little Vitz. I like the color on that Vitz too. That is a Honda Odyssey. I don't think you guys get those in the States either. Or sorry, in the States, yes. In Europe you wouldn't get them, I don't think. Here's that little Echo, or Vitz, everywhere else. Toyota Corolla. What's next to this? Old Chevy truck cab, which has actually split by the looks of it. I think, yeah, that back end has seen better days. Let's go see what's down here. Recently rolled VW Tiguan by the looks of it. Don't think that's a Touareg. Might be a Tiguan. I found this weird find, and you'd look at it and say, that's a truck bed, and you're right, but it's an interesting truck bed, because as you can see from here, this is an ex-military truck bed off of what I think is either like an international series, Navistar they're called, series of military Canadian trucks, or possibly the old Deuce trucks that the American military used to use, which Canada did too, so that's kind of an interesting find. This is either a Nissan Pathfinder or a Toyota 4Runner. I can't really tell. I'm not really good with my SUVs, but we do have this amazing GMC Sierra in a wonderful shade of 70s beigey, yellowy, goldy. That is a cool color. Why do cars not have interesting colors these days? And here we have a... what is this thing? I don't know, but it's missing a bunch of stuff. Another Toyota of some sort, I think. Another truck cab. Another truck, that's a GMC Sierra or a Chevy Silverado. Some more truck cabs that we'll skip past because they're not terribly interesting. We mentioned the Ford Windstar and the Ford Freestar already. This is an Aerostar, so this is the one that preceded them both. It was kind of Ford's answer to the Dodge Caravan when Chrysler came out with the Caravan. So they're interesting. I'll show you if I can. Very, very boxy, if you can see through the trees there. Another big old Chevy cargo van. Ooh, Dodge Ram cab. I thought that was one of the small ones for a second, but it's not. Mazda B2000 series cab. Those trucks are very rare these days. Another Ford Econoline van. You got more trucks. Ooh, these are all Mazdas. I think that might be a Ranger, but that's another B2000 series. Interestingly orange cab. Can't tell what that is. Another Mazda B2000. Ford Ranger. If I remember, the B2000 and the Ranger were related. Not sure. More trucks. Jeep Cherokee there. More truck cabs. What else do we have going on? A sea of more modern stuff. That looks to be a very crushed right there Corsica. Ford Taurus wagon. Chevy Cavalier, Chrysler 300 in white with a Jeep Liberty behind it, which you guys in Europe got as the Cherokee. Mercury Contour, the green one up behind the tree. That's the Mercury rebadged version of the Ford Contour, which was a rebadged version of the Ford Mondeo that we imported. I think these are all Dodge and Chrysler and Plymouth 4th gen or 3rd gen Caravans and Voyagers and such. More old pickups. That's an old Chevy pickup there, 70s, late 70s, early 80s. Jeep Grand Cherokee. More Chrysler minivans hiding in there. Buick, what are these called? Rainier? Encore? I can't remember. Rendezvous, that's what it is. A friend of the family has one of these. It's been okay for her. Kind of ugly though. Chevy Uplander. Another Chevy Uplander. This is a Dodge Caravan. I feel bad for these. Our family vehicle growing up was one of these. Ours was not as fancy a trim as this with the black body cladding and bumpers. Ours was a same color though, white Dodge Caravan SE 1993. Really liked that van. Ours had a 3-liter Mitsubishi V6 in it. Another Pontiac Sunfire. Another Dodge Caravan, Plymouth Voyager of some sort, and another one there. A row of American pickups over there. What do we have down here? Let's go find out. Right, hiding in this shrubbery, there is a thing, and I don't know what kind of thing it is, but it has a large spoiler, and I think it's a Mitsubishi Eclipse. And by the paint on it, it's been painted a billion different colors in its lifetime. Because looking at that fender alone, I can see black and light blue and red. And it has a painted blue brake caliper. We've got, a Honda Prelude by the looks of it. That's a shame. Those are very uncommon now. Dodge Caravan, Mazda 3, Kia Rio, Ford Ranger, some sort of Chevy or GMC Blazer SUV in the back there. We'll go over that way because I think I see another Toyota Echo / Vitz. There's a Massey Ferguson front end loader here. Lori's Mechanical Marvels would be happy to see that, although I don't think they're going to be getting that one running anytime soon. Ford Escape, which was also sold as the Mazda Tribute with different fascia. This is a Super Gramps Generation Subaru Outback Legacy, Ford Focus, Honda CR-V. This is kind of cool. It's like a camping conversion Dodge Caravan. Camp wagon, Brougham camp wagon. I wonder if this was a factory option or some extra company. Oh, it's badged as a Ram. That's interesting. Someone's initials are still on here. Camp wagon. Oh, much plush 80s velour that is faded. Complete with curtains and Scooby-Doo seat cover. Big old Chevy Yukon. Big old Chevy Yukon. Those things are quite large when you're standing next to them. Cool GMC van, which has clearly seen some better days. That's kind of a shame. They're cool old things. Let's see. Chevy Lacetti to you in the UK and Europe, but that would be a Chevy, what did they call them here? Oh, I can't think of the name, but it's the Chevy rebadged version, which was basically just a Daewoo Lanos. This would be a Chrysler Sebring, Accent sedan from the generation before mine. Chevy Aveo. Party on. That's an interesting old Dodge van. I don't think it's going to be coming back from the dead though, but cool little thing. First gen Accent hiding there. Ford Escape, the first generation, with a blue Hyundai Elantra, and the back end of what I think is a Geo Tracker. We gotta go look at that, but first we'll go look at this Vitz, because it's a shame, and I like Vitz's. This is my favorite color for them, sort of a crazy golden, yellowy, palish yellow? I don't know what you call it, but very cool. Let's go find the tracker. I just found this Dodge Ram work van. I forgot. Early Caravans had a work van version, and it was known as the Dodge Ram. So this is like the work version of a Dodge Caravan. Party wagon is still here. Not going to actually go over to the GMC Tracker, Chevy Tracker, because it's tick season here, and if I step into the tall grass, I will be immediately murdered by a million ticks, probably filled with Lyme disease. Some old trailers and vans there. I'm curious what that big red thing is. Don't think I can see the front end of it, but some big old work cube truck thing. That is a VW Westphalia hiding in the trees, or a Vanagon, or T3 if you're in Europe. My grandparents used to have one growing up in brown. That one looks to be white, so definitely not their old van. But yeah, we got one more area to check, so let's see what else we can find. I didn't notice, but real rarity, not too far in front of that Vitz is a Dodge Shadow Convertible. There's like none of those left these days. At least I haven't seen one on the road in years. Interesting that it has a bright white top. Trying to go with 70s style, I guess, in the 80s, but gray/black bumpers, red paint, and a white top. That's quite the combination. And I think the interior looks gray from here. So yeah, very odd. We have another very uncommon car that you never see. This is a Dodge Magnum. The first one, because most people know of the Dodge Magnum wagon, which is a wagon version of the Dodge Charger, the kind of earlier version of the current gen Dodge Charger. There's like none of these anywhere on the road anymore. Got some boring modern stuff, Nissan Versa. Ooh, American oddities. Ford Taurus or Mercury Sable wagon from the 80s. And a Chevrolet Caprice wagon. That's a shame. There's that contour-based Mercury that I was talking about earlier, which is basically just a Mondeo Cavalier that has had a bunch of rocker work done at some point, and a very interestingly painted purple GMC Canyon first generation. Maybe that was a factory color, but I do not remember that color at all. But yeah, let's go see if there's anything else we can find, but I think that's pretty much it. A somewhat empty row. We hadn't been down yet. Next to this old GMC or Chevy truck is, I think, an early Dodge pickup. Kind of hard to tell. Some of you might know better than me, but that's a cool old thing to see. There aren't many of those left either. So we'll just take a walk past this random fender and bumper off of something. See if there's anything else. Ice fishing shack. Very Canadian. They put those out on thick ice in the winter and fish for smelts, small fish. More trucks. That's an empty path to our left. Another truck. I think we're pretty much at the end here now. Some sort of chassis. Ooh, Ford F100 chassis and cab. Probably too far gone at this point. Looks like it had a front hit because these look bent, but yeah, that's an old truck cab. Another old Chevy or GM cab. And I think we are back to the military truck bed. I found this Chevrolet Camaro on the way out. Parked in a tarp, so someone obviously was trying to care about it. So maybe that'll be back on the road someday. This is a first generation Neon, like the one that Hubnut did a review on not too long ago. With a 2-liter engine. I think they all had the same 2-liter inline 4. I always kind of liked these, so it's a shame to see one here, but sadly almost all of them are gone around here now because rust and being used up has killed them all off. But yeah, cool to find one. Alright, it's going to be the end of our video today. It's pretty bright out, so sorry about my squinting. Sorry about the shaky, terrible camera work. I only have my phone with me today. And yeah, it was a fun little extra because I didn't think this was going to be happening today. Didn't realize this was behind the garage. So yeah, hope you enjoyed it. Hope you saw some things that were at least a little bit interesting. And I will leave you with a Dodge Raider. Imported for Dodge. You guys have a good one. See you later.